Gary Britton, the manager of North Dago Brighton office. Thanks for joining us. Pat Coyne is with us. Alex is here too. We're here till 10 o'clock with Property Source Radio. All right, we'll get right into a little situation in my neighborhood. All right. 2 homes on the market, both being represented by your company. One of the 2 great homes. One of them, in fact, is sold. The other one will sell very quickly. But there is a neighbor issue involved in the reason why people are moving out of the neighborhood. One next door to this neighbor, one right across the street from this neighbor. The issue isn't important. At what point does the realtor have an obligation to mention a shaky neighbor situation?
So, Steve, are they going to ask you to leave? Oh, sorry. You're not the neighbor?
He catches on pretty quick.
That's right.
And we're next to you.
That's right. Well, it's
it's a difficult situation.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest problem we have with neighbors is how they keep the property up, because that's pretty visible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, unless they're running out with a broom and swatting everybody that comes up, I think that the look of the house is really critical, and it has an impact on the sale of other houses.
And that's something you can see right away, I suppose, when you go to look at the house.
And we've gone in and talked with the neighbors, and of course, some of them are agreeable, and sometimes you got to buy them off. I've even paid to have their lawn cut and the garbage cleaned up and the shrubs cut, just because my property next to it that I was representing, was affecting the value.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it's difficult. I mean.
Well, putting my just to question that topic, putting myself in the position of a realtor being hired to go put this house on the market for a client. I say to my client, "Hey, why are you selling?" They're not going to tell me, "I hate the guy next door. He's a jerk." Typically, they don't say that. Sometimes, if you're comfortable and you have a good rapport with them, yes. But in many situations, you probably won't know that, right?
Usually we won't know that. I mean,
okay.
I have been told on occasion, but most of, like I said, is that they have too many people over. The backyard is always loud, and
wow,
and
that's why everybody's sold around my
quieter
house.
Neighborhood. But I had a client once. They came. Their culture. They came from overseas, and their culture was that they didn't have a lot of land. So whatever land they had, they thought they'd put it to use and make a garden. So. I saw the house, and 2 months later, the rototiller's in the front lawn, and they're planting vegetables. And I said, well, you can't do it in the front lawn. You got to do it in the back. Yeah. And they said, well, we want to use as much space as we can.
Wow. Interesting.
So
yeah, I can see where that would
be an interesting neighbor, too.
Yes,
But
yeah. Depending on the
there
neighborhood.
are zoning laws.
Well,
right,
yeah.
right.
It must be easier then to build and sell new homes then, because you don't have to worry about, with the state of the neighborhood. It's all brand new, and I know you're involved in that.
That's right. A new home is a new home, and a lot of people love the fact that nobody's lived in it. They can design and create it, and and that's wonderful. And then you have choices where you want to move. There's quite a few communities. I represent a builder right now, Aristo Company, and we're up at Coastal View, right on the water. It used to be the Homerama a few years ago.
Yeah.
Can you explain where the location is for Coastal View, Gary?
It's off of Lake Road, just east of Phillips Road, and it's Coastal View is the street, and then there's Mill Stream Run. We have a beautiful model up there that people can come in and tour. But this community offers, we call them staycations right now, because people are selling their second homes and investing that money into one home because it gets expensive to travel and maintain a second home. So we have a lot of people that are on the water, looks over the lake, they're gorgeous. And then we have another section in the community that has an HOA, so those of you that want the lawn and the plowing taken care of.
Okay.
I'm raising my hand.
That's me too.
Steve's in.
No, what is an HOA?
HOA is a homeowners association.
See.
Sorry, I thought you were...
they take care of all the exterior maintenance, so
Now
that
I'm
you
in.
have some freedom.
Now I'm in.
Yeah, wonderful community there. I'm there Sundays, 1 to 4.
1 to 4 at Coastal View.
197 Mill Stream Run. But I want to go back just a little bit and talk a little bit about the market, because there's such controversy as to what's going on, because we hear so many national reports that everything is disgusting and terrible and down. And it's kind of caused a lot of people to hide in a corner. But let me give you some statistics. Just since January, Nothnagel has done over $131 million listing and selling houses. Now, that's 2 months.
Wow.
So that's a lot of houses. So there are a lot of buyers out there, and there's a lot of property available to be bought. So we're always trying to take away that national doom and gloom.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So we've done. You guys, Nothnagel overall has done $131 million January and February combined. Beautiful. Right. I like that. Congratulations.
And we do about 65% of the business, so that means that there's even more.
That
has
there.
sold in the 2 months.
Well, I think
great.
what's nice is that we've talked to a lot of different realtors on this show. I mean, and there are always reports coming out that Rochester is, we're never doing so badly in the housing market. We're never doing terrible in the job market. We were just recently rated one of the best commuter cities. So I think that's what's nice if you're a realtor in this market. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've been hearing. The consensus is that this is a good place to buy and sell homes because you never really see the horrible effects of the housing market here. I mean, people are building houses on the lake. That's beautiful, I feel like we're in a good place economically.
Yeah, because the hardest conversation a realtor can have is to tell you that you lost money.
Oh, sure.
I mean, that's a hard conversation because, we are human too. And and that's a tough one. So there are different pockets where they're more vulnerable to losses. And that would be that middle pocket, in the neighborhood of 275 to 450, because that's a lot of middle management, and they're not sure if they're going to have their job. So that's the soft spot right now in the market.
Oh, really?
Below that, the sales are going, and believe it or not, above that, 500 is
a good
high
number. That's where I'm going, baby.
Are you going there?
I don't know. I hope so. Maybe by May. I don't know yet.
You can get your 500 with an HOA.
See,
Homeowners
Association.
Yes. Thanks, Steve. HOA.
Do you see more positive changes coming when Paytech finally moves into downtown Rochester? Do you see that middle area kind of getting harder?
I hope so. I mean, I think there's a large group of young professionals in the buying community right now, and they're looking for alternatives. They don't want to go to the suburbs. They want to come down. My son bought a townhouse on Broadway. He loves to be able to walk around. It's 2 minutes. He works at Chase down here. He can literally walk or ride a bike. So you're seeing more of that crowd coming down and getting involved in the city. So it's great that they're investing in the city.
I've always been a big fan of downtown living. When I lived in Boston, I lived right in the middle of it all. Good days on end without taking the car anywhere. And it's just the vitality of this. And now in the 70s and 80s, Boston really jumped to life in the real estate market, building wharf homes, things right on the harbor, things of that sort. And we have so many areas here that haven't been tapped yet for housing possibilities.
That's correct. We seem to always want to go further out and eat up farms and build big houses, and we've created that. Now it's almost a 30-minute commute to get downtown, and there's no the neighborhood stores and the butcher. I know I lived in the city, and I could walk 5 houses down, and they had a little butcher.
Sure,
he had a little front meat market in his house.
Knew you by name,
and knew you by name. Wrapped it up in the white envelope. Now I'm probably talking my age now.
Well, you and Moses.
Well, you said Moses.
He was my meat man, as a matter of fact.
Moses was my meat man.
Alex, that didn't sound right.
Times have changed.
Gary Britton from Nothnagel Brighton office. So where are we going? You said you sensed that we're kind of at the edge of a turn.
We're on the edge of a turn. I mean, I have a little graph. You can't see it, but, in 204, everybody was optimistic, and 205, there was excitement, and 206, there was euphoria, along with the stock market and everything. Then 207, we started to crest, and there was denial. 208, there was fear. 209, it was panic in the streets. And then 210, it was despondency. And depression. So now we've moved back up that cycle, and 211 is hope. And then I think to fall of 11 and 12 is optimism.
Great.
And then we go back up the cycle, back up to the excitement. And
so we can get off the prescription medicine.
That's correct.
Thank
That'll
God
be
it's
a
getting
time
expensive.
when realtors don't have to wear their dark sunglasses and walk around at night.
Yeah. So the cycles run 7 to 8 years.
Yep, 7 to 8 years they run. And like I said, I've been through 5, 6 of them. So I mean, it's easier for me to forecast what's ahead because I've already been there.
Right. You've already seen the pattern over and over and over again.
Yeah, a little difficult for the young agents who have been in the business only the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, they're used to the market being hot.
Yep.
So right now, I'm doing a lot of sales training saying, this is what you need to do. Now you have to actually sell.
Yeah, you got to coach. You're coaching a lot of these newer guys now.
Coaching them, yep. I have a little blog, and it's called the Monday Morning Videos, and they go on, and I videotape myself in different selling situations, and they go on and they watch it.
Cool.
That's the only way to really kind of train 50 people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to put a big room and so they can do it on. But that's the story now. Blogs and websites and so
Video.
electronic.
Got to do it all.
Yeah, interesting. Where are we going with average median home prices? Are we seeing a jump in the last 2 months as well?
Actually,
Rochester, by the way.
we have seen a comeback.
Okay.
Interest rates are low, so prices have been coming up 2 to 3%. We're finding as an increase. So completely opposite of like other parts. But when you spoke about other parts of the country losing 20%, I mean, all we gain is 3% a year. So if we lose 3, we can only drop what we gain. So it's really a stable market here. And that draws a lot of people. We're getting a lot of people from both coasts coming in because they want this stability. This is a great community to raise a family. It's a friendly community.
I've always said that.
Commute times are short.
Yep.
We're about 1 million people, so we're not like Mayberry.
Right.
But, you know,
One of my cousins lives in Webster. I live in Pittsford, right? Webster for me is a good 20-minute commute. 15 if I'm really hauling, right?
Right.
So, you never tell a child something because it gets repeated. So my son wants to go play with his cousin often, and I'm like, I can't stand driving to Webster. It's such a pain in the.
Don't you love that? Don't you just love that?
That's me, right? I'm that guy, right? I can't drive 15, 20 minutes.
It's the climate change that gets me.
Well,
that too.
I'm down by Victor, and it's green grass, and by the time I'm up, there's a blizzard in Webster.
And if you drive to Dansville, you're back in the 80s. So that's another issue.
Well, you got to dodge the horses,
The horses, you don't want to hit a horse.
Gary Britton from North Nagle, Brighton office. What surprises you about the biz these days?
What surprises me?
Yeah.
The same question for 30 years. People have, everybody is coming into the market new. Everybody has the same question. It doesn't matter what they were wearing leisure suits when I was selling. And now they have the same question.
Same questions,
and
but
everybody, you know what?
different clothes.
I'll tell you why I've been doing this for 30 years. Because at night I'll drive by a house and I'll see the lights on and I'll see the family eating dinner, or I'll see mom or dad helping somebody with the homework. I'll see birthday parties, weddings, fun. And that's what still gives me goosebumps, because we're really helping people start memories.
You're not selling a building. You're selling a home.
You're selling memories and a lifestyle for the people. And so
don't drive by my house. You might see the belt swinging at the kids or something.
That's right.
Really?
Well, at my age, driving by at night looking through house windows is difficult. I have a big sign on my car that says nothing.
They call the cops, don't
That's
they?
right.
Are there any particular hot neighborhoods these days?
Well, there are some.
There's always the east side, west side argument.
Yeah, there's always the east side, west side, and, there's a lot of people on the west, a lot of people on the east. But what was funny is that somebody told me a long time ago that east sides of cities build up faster than west sides, because when you are on the east side and driving downtown, the sun is in the back.
Yeah, I've heard that.
When you're going home, the sun is in the back. But if you're on the west, you're driving into the sun and you're driving home in the sun.
Yeah, think about it.
So it's kind of weird how that kind of plays out. I don't know if there's any truth to it.
All the smart people live on the east side.
Well,
therefore, that builds up faster because
no,
they're like,
we can't say that.
Seriously, I've driven.
Ouch, Pat Coyne. Ouch. I do not live on the east side.
Wait. I knew I'd defend somebody.
But I know where you're going.
Do you know where I'm going? I've driven into the sun by accident, because of and I'm like, yeah, thank God I live on the east side. I'm not one of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's a big difference.
In the Boston area where I grew up, it was North and South Shore, so there was never a sun issue. It was,
there's just no sun there.
There was always that rivalry. No, there never was. You're right.
Well, given the geography, it's a little flatter on the west side, and then it starts to get a little hillier as you move on the east side. So, just the geography alone.
The hair is still bigger on the west side. I have noticed that.
Still.
Yes.
Yeah, still.
See, and Alex will attest to that.
We like our hair big.
All right, you got a ton of charts and graphs and highlighted information there. I'm sure we missed something that you wanted to point out today, Gary. What do you got?
Well, we've got, I've got so many charts and graphs, I'm going to spare you. But I think the thing that people have to remember right now, it's not the price of the house so much as it's the cost of the ownership. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, if you were to go and get a $100,000 house at a 30-year rate. And back in November, the interest rates were just about 4.1, 4.2. Your payment would have been $975 a month. So now a lot of people are saying, well, I'm going to wait till the houses go down, but then the interest rates go up. So now if you did that scenario, now you're going to be buying a house at 192, assuming that 200 went down, but the interest rates are going to be 4.95, and your payment ends up being $1,067. So it didn't make sense to wait.
Yeah.
Because your payment actually went up. You got the house cheaper, but the interest rate is the driving force in picking up houses. So trying to communicate that to people, saying, now's the time to jump on before the rates go up, because the cost of housing will increase.
Yep.
No matter what you get the house price for.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's an education process. You have to actually educate people that don't know this.
Yep, that's a big thing. You can go to rochesterhousehunting.com, and you can get a lot of free reports and information about home selling. And of course, you'll see my little face. And if you're in the market to find a realtor, you can go to NothnagelBrighton.com.
Oh, yeah?
And that brings you to the Brighton office, and you can hit view the agents, and there's a whole list of our wonderful agents that are working in the office.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. I've learned stuff today.
That's
Me
good.
too.
HOA.
Homeowners
HOA.
Association.
HOA.
I thought you were.
And I've learned all about bad neighborhood.
Well, yeah.
That's right.
We need an HOA, but anyway. Gary, thanks for joining us. If you can stick around for a couple minutes, I have a few things I want to follow up on you.
Sure, I'll have to
You gonna
push
get out? Might have to put
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
back.
Charlie.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Charlie.
gotta make room for
while.
Charlie
Charlie can wait in
Sheen.
the lobby like everybody else
Preempted
does.
them.
And I have learned that women on the west side are dumber, and we like our son in the front.
Oh, I always thought they
in
were
the
prettier.
Thanks to Pat Coyne.
I'm sorry I offended you also, but it's nothing new, right?
Quick break, and we'll be back. Property Source Radio. We're here every Saturday. You can hear us, of course, right here at Sports Radio 950 ESPN, and we're also on PropertySourceRadio.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back.